welcome back to Pabbly. In this video, we're going to learn how to create Brevo contact on Gravity Forms submission. So I'm an owner of an e-commerce business and using Gravity Forms, I have created a form with the help of which I collect my leads data, and this form is on my website. And I use Brevo as an email marketing tool in my business and to manage my leads data. Here what I want is that as soon as by the lead, a new form submission is going to be done using Gravity Forms. I want to create that lead as a contact in my Brevo account. Now creating these contacts manually is very time consuming. So what I've done is I've simply automated this entire process with the help of Pabbly Connect, which is an amazing automation and integration software. And here in this automation, I'm going to build a connection between Gravity Forms and Brevo with the help of it. So if you also want to learn about this amazing automation process step by step, for that let me take you to my screen. In this video, we're going to learn how to create Brevo contact on Gravity Forms submission. So as an owner of an e-commerce business, I focus on capturing potential customers' details to grow my sales. I use Gravity Forms on my website to collect my leads information. And I use Brevo to manage these leads and run targeted email campaigns. To streamline this process, I've automated the workflow. So now whenever someone submits a form with the help of the form that I've created using Gravity Forms, automatically that lead is going to be created as a contact in my Brevo account. This ensures timely engagement and increases the chances of turning leads into loyal customers without any manual efforts. And I'm going to create this amazing automation between Gravity Forms and Brevo with the help of Pabbly Connect. So on the screen, you can see the website of Pabbly Connect, that is pabbly.com/connect. After browsing this website, we need to sign into our Pabbly Connect account. But if you're a new user, you can sign up for free and get 100 free tasks every month. So as I'm an existing user, I'm going to sign into my Pabbly Connect account. After signing in, you can see the All Pabbly apps window in front of you, in which you can see all the products that Pabbly provides, from which we are going to select Pabbly Connect by clicking on this Access Now button right over here. As I've done that, you can see then Pabbly Connect's dashboard is going to appear in front of you. In order to start an automation process in Pabbly Connect, we need to create a workflow. For that, click on this top right corner button right here that says Create Workflow. A dialog box is then going to appear in front of you, which is asking for the workflow name and for us to select a folder. So for the name of my workflow over here, I'm going to give it as Create Brevo Contact on Gravity Forms Submission. So this is the name that I want to give to my workflow, okay? After that, it is asking for us to select a folder. So on the left side of my screen, you can see I've created multiple folders in my Pabbly Connect account, from which I'm going to select a specific folder in which I want to save this workflow in. For that, click on this drop down. These are the folders from which I'm going to select Gravity Forms Automations as the folder I want to save this workflow in. After giving the name to the workflow and selecting the folder, I'm going to click on this Create button in order to create a workflow. A workflow is created in the name of Create Brevo Contact on Gravity Forms Submissions, and you can see that there are two windows in front of you. One says Trigger, other says Action. So what is Trigger and Action? Trigger and Action are the two most important steps of our automation process because our process depends on these two principles. Over here, Trigger says when this happens and Action says do this. That means what is Action? Action is a response towards our trigger. In an automation process, there can be only one trigger step but multiple action steps. We are going to set up our trigger step first. And for the trigger application over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select it as Gravity Forms. As with the help of Gravity Forms, I have created a form with the help of which I am collecting my leads data, and this form is on my website. I want that as soon as by any of the lead, a new form submission is going to be done using Gravity Forms, automatically the trigger over here should capture the response of that. After selecting the trigger application, for the trigger event, I'm going to select it as New Response. After selecting the trigger application and the event, you can see that Pabbly Connect has provided us with the webhook URL. Now using this unique webhook URL, we are going to build a connection between Gravity Forms and Pabbly Connect by following the steps given here below in the help desk. So firstly, I'm going to copy this URL from here. After copying the URL, log into your Gravity Forms account and open the form that you have created using Gravity Forms that you want to connect to Pabbly Connect. So I've created multiple forms, you can see right over here in my Gravity Forms account, and I have created a form in the name of Advanced Contact Form, with the help of which I'm going to collect my leads data. So I want to connect this form to Pabbly Connect. In order to do that, from this panel, go towards the settings, and from the options over, if I'm going to scroll down, it says webhooks. I'm going to click on this webhooks option right here. As I'm going to do that, the webhook page is then going to appear in front of you, on which click on add new button right here. It is asking for the webhook name. So for the webhook name over here, I'm going to give it as new form submission. This is the webhook name. For the URL, I'm going to paste the webhook URL that Pabbly Connect has provided us. The request method over here, I'm going to select it as post. For the request format, I'm going to select it as JSON. Okay. Then it is asking for the request headers. I do not want them, so I'm going to skip the part. If you want, you can add your own headers right here. Then it is asking for the request body. I want all the fields, so I'm going to select all fields right here. But if you want, you can select the specific fields over here. Okay. Then it is asking for the webhook condition. I don't want any condition, so I'm going to skip the part. After filling in all the required details, I'm going to click on this Save Settings button right here. It says Settings Updated. So from the left side of the panel, if I'm going to again go towards this webhook option, you can see the webhook in the name of new form submission has been added in my Gravity Forms account. As now this webhook URL is added, this means that this form has been connected with Pabbly Connect. So if I'm going to scroll down in this workflow, it says waiting for webhook response. So now to check whether Gravity Forms, which means this form is connected to Pabbly Connect or not, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the test submission of this form that I've created. And after doing the test submission, I'm going to check whether Pabbly Connect captures the response of the test submission being done or not. So now for doing the test submission, I'm going to click on this preview form button of this form right here. So this is the form with the help of which I'm going to collect my leads data. Now let us do the form submission. Firstly, it is asking for the lead's first name. So for the lead's first name over here, I'm going to write it as new. For the last name over here, I'm going to write it as lead33. Next, it is asking for the email address. For the email address over here, I'm going to write it as newlead33@pabblytudes.com. For the phone number over here, I'm going to enter a dummy mobile number right here. Then next, it is asking for the address. So for the address over here, I'm going to select it as 11 Newtown. It is asking for the city next. So for the city over here, I'm going to write it as Indore. Next, it is asking for the state. So for the state over here, I'm going to write it as Madhya Pradesh. Then for the zip code over here, I'm going to enter a dummy zip code right over here. After that, it is asking for the country. I'm going to select it as India, and then I'm going to click on this submit button. As I've done that, it says thanks for testing our form. As now the form submission is done, I'm going to go back to my workflow and scroll down. And as you can see, the response of the form submission has been captured in our trigger. Now over here, you can see that the mobile number of my lead. Email is newlead33@pabblytudes.com. If I'm going to further scroll down, date and time of the lead being generated. Country is India. You can see right over here. This is the code. This state, that is Madhya Pradesh. City is Indore. Address is 11 Newtown. First name is new and last name is lead33. As now the response of the form submission has been captured in our trigger, this means that Gravity Forms is connected to Pabbly Connect and our trigger setup is done. Now after setting up our trigger step, we need to set up our action step. Over here, what our objective is that as soon as by the lead of form submission is going to be done using Gravity Forms, we need to create that lead as a contact in our Brevo account. Now according to that, we're going to set up our action step, in which for the action application over here, I'm going to select it as Brevo. And for the action event over here, I'm going to select as create or update contact. Then I'm going to click on this connect button. Our window is going to appear in front of you, on which click on add new connection, or else you can select the existing connection that you have. Okay. After that, over here it is asking for the domain. So to get the domain in your URL in your Brevo account, this is the domain you can see right over here. Okay. So you need to enter the domain right over here. You have to enter this URL and then you have to enter the domain name. So over here, my domain name is going to be Brevo. So that is why you can see the domain is automatically added in this field with Brevo as my domain name. You can see right here. Okay. Next, it is asking for the API key. Now, to have the API key, we have to click on this SMTP and API page right over here. This is the hyperlink.
As I'm going to click towards this hyperlink, you're going to land towards the API keys page of your Brevo account. We are now going to generate a new key. For that, I'm going to click on this button. It is asking for the key name. So the key name over here, I'm going to write it as new key 1. Okay, this is the key name. I'm going to generate the key from here. This is the key. I'm going to copy this key from here and paste this API key right over here. Okay, so as now the key is entered over here, I'm going to click on this save button right here. As I've done that, you can see Brevo has now been connected to Pabbly Connect. As now Brevo is connected to Pabbly Connect over here, if I'm going to scroll down, you can see it is asking for the email address and all the other details, with the help of which we are going to create a contact in our Brevo account. So for the data of these fields, what we are going to do is we are going to map the data. Now what is mapping? Mapping means inserting data from the previous step. So we're going to insert the data from the previous step of this workflow. And how mapping works is that as soon as I'm going to click on this field, this was the previous step. As I'm going to click on it, this is the same response that was captured in our previous step in which we have received our leads data. And I want to create this lead as a contact in my Brevo account, and it is asking for the contact details. So I'm going to select the details of my contact from my previous response of my lead. It is asking for the contact's email. This is my lead's email. I'm going to map the data of the lead's email in place of this field. As now I have selected the data from my previous response, what happens is the data is mapped. And as now I have mapped this data, what happens? This data has now become dynamic. That means now whenever a new response is going to be captured in our previous step, automatically the new data is going to be updated in place of this mapped data. Next, it is asking, do you want to use email blacklisted? I'm going to select it as true right over here. It is asking, do you want to use SMS blacklisted? I'm going to select it as true. Next, it is asking for the list. So if I'm going to take you back to my Brevo account, over here under contacts, it says list. I have created multiple lists in my Brevo account in which I have created a list in the name of new leads. And I want to create a contact of my leads in this list in the name of new leads. So what I'm going to do is, for the list over here, I'm going to select the list over here from the drop down as new leads. Okay. After selecting the list, it is asking for update enabled. So just imagine a lead has done the form submission using Gravity Forms, but that lead is an existing contact in my Brevo account. So do I want to update the details of that contact? So I'm going to select it as true because I want that. Okay. It is asking for SMTP blacklist sender. I do not have the field, so I'm going to skip the part. Next, it is asking for the first name and the last name of our contact. So for the data of this field over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to map the data. Last name, I'm going to map the data. For the first name over here, I'm going to map the data of the first name right over here. This is the first name. Next, it is asking for SMS. SMS is the mobile number. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to map the data of the mobile number right over here. Okay. After that, it is asking for the double opt-in. I'm going to select it as none. It is asking for amount. I'm going to skip the part. For the notes over here, I'm going to enter the address of my lead in place of this notes right over here. So I'm going to manually type in address. And then for the address, I'm going to map the data of the address of my lead. This is the address, comma, space. Then I want the city, comma, space, state, comma, space, country, comma, space with the postal code. Okay. So this is the address for the notes. Next, it is asking for the title. So for the title over here, I'm going to write it as new lead right here. Okay. So this is the title. Next, it is asking for the closed date. I do not want. It is asking for opt-in. I'm going to select it as none. It is asking for WhatsApp over here. I'm going to map the data of the number of my lead for the WhatsApp. It is asking for all these details which I do not require. So I'm going to skip the part and simply over here it says save and send test request button. I'm going to click on it. As I'm going to click on save and send test request, we will receive an ID in our response, which is going to be a positive response. So I'm going to open my Brevo account to check whether a new contact is added. So in my list over here, I've created a list in the name of new leads. I'm going to open this list right over here. And you can see a new contact in this list has been added in the name of new lead 33. If you're going to tally the response further, the email is newlead33@pabblytudes.com. This is the WhatsApp number and this is the SMS number. First name is new, last name is lead. For the notes is the address you can see right over here of my lead. You can see right here. The title is new lead with all the other details. So as now a new contact has been added, this means that this workflow is now successfully working that we have created using Pabbly Connect. But now for all of you guys, what I'm going to do is we are going to test this workflow. And how we're going to do that? By doing a new form submission using Gravity and checking whether the contact of that lead has been created in my Brevo account or not. So now let us do the test submission again. For that, I'm going to again click on this preview form button. Next, it is asking for all these details of my lead. So I'm going to fill in all the required details right over here. I filled in all the required details. First name is best, last name is lead, email is bestlead34@pabblytudes.com with a dummy mobile number. Address as 10 Old Town. You can see this is the city, that is Bhopal, state is Madhya Pradesh, this is the postal code, country that is India. I'm going to click on the submit button to the test submission. It says thank you for testing our form. As now the form submission is done, I'm going to go back to my Brevo account, go to the list section right over here. Open this list in the name of new leads right over here, and you can see a new contact has been added in my Brevo account in the name best lead. Let us tally the response. Email is bestlead34@pabblytudes.com with a dummy mobile number. First name is best, last name is lead, this is the mobile number again, and the address is 01 Old Town, Madhya Pradesh, India, and this is the postal code, and title is new lead. As now a new contact has been added, this means this workflow is now working successfully. And now let us sum up till now what we have done. Over here for the trigger, I've selected as Gravity Forms new response. As now whenever by the lead a new form submission is going to be done using Gravity Forms, the trigger over here is going to capture the response of the form submission. Action is Brevo create or update contact. Using the details of my lead from my previous response, a contact is automatically going to be created of my lead in my Brevo account. And in this manner, I've built a connection between these two applications with the help of Pabbly Connect. So this was it for this video. Thank you so much for watching.
Not just with these applications, you can create automation between multiple other applications with the help of Pabbly Connect. If you have any questions, you can contact us on support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can check the queries on forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issues, then you can check out this link. If you like this video, please do subscribe to our channel, hit on the like button, comment on if you have any questions or doubts, and please share this video.